everybody, if I can ask you to take your seats. Welcome, everybody. I am Steve Call. I'm the Dean of the Journalism School, and it's my honor to get us started and to welcome you and to say, first of all, to the class of 2015, you really rocked the university commencement today. Thank you for being so noisy. When I came up to the podium, the president of the university literally said to me, "What have you done to them?" So that was good. That was the idea. The president did trap you into applauding jailed journalists. You might have noticed that. But that was, I think, because last year, every time he spoke the word journalism, there was this uproar and he couldn't quite finish his speech. So I think he fiendishly laid that trap. I want to start with some thank yous. First of all, to the parents and family and friends who have supported you this year and before, and for raising such wonderful kids, and for being here today. Thank you, and on behalf of the class of 2015. On the stage behind me is the reason to come to this J School, which is a faculty beyond comparison, and really very important to the community that we have and that we share at the J School. And I'd just like to acknowledge them and to ask you to thank them for their year. A school is a complicated place, and it requires a lot of dedicated people to get us through a year as intense as the one we put you through. And so that includes a lot of staff and a lot of senior leaders who are not on the faculty. And I'd like to acknowledge their work this year and to thank them, and also to thank Lizzie Fishman and her team, Lauren Schaefer, for putting on this extraordinary graduation for us. So thank you all. And one other person I wanted to single out, Dean Sheila Coronel, who's been my partner this year. Our first year working together, from my perspective anyway, it was a fantastic year. She's a great leader, a great journalist, and we're all lucky to have her. And so, as we get started, I just wanted to say a couple of things to all of you and to the class of 2015, not just congratulations, but also to convey our thanks to you, because you have really, you've been a great group. You've also inspired us and in very concrete ways helped to lead the school into the changes that we're finding our way through the quality of your work, but also your interests, the way you let us understand why you're in journalism, why you've chosen this field, why you've chosen this life. And I think certainly from teaching, those of you who I've gotten to know the best, I've come to understand that you are in this field for all the right reasons, that the opportunity to live in the public square and to travel and to investigate and to ask impertinent questions of powerful people and to tell memorable stories and to think about what matters, what stories should be told, not only in this society, but in many other societies that some of you will be returning to as leaders and as reporters and videographers and writers. It's just thrilling because I think we are finally through the first phase of disruption in this profession of ours. We're in a second phase now where there's a lot of creation going on, and there's a lot of sense that this is an enduring need of any democratic society and lots of other societies too, to have professionally trained journalists who are working from evidence, who are working with a sense of fairness, a sense of purpose, a sense of public mission, and also with new tools, because your leadership includes pushing us to figure out how to connect journalism to the new tools of computation, algorithms, data sets, and all of the places where information and power now lies. And it's been an exciting year and a year of transition for the school, and your leadership has really been an important part of that. You're going off to work in lots of interesting places, big and familiar newsrooms and news organizations, but also startups like BuzzFeed and Vice and Vox and lots of places that will either be the Google of 21st century journalism or pets.com. We're not quite sure yet, but you're going to figure it out. And I hope that you're going to create a few of these places on your own over the next 5 or 10 years. You're now part of an amazing network of alums, more than 10,000 active Columbia J School alums. You've probably met some of them already as you've been going around on your first rounds as young professionals, and you'll probably recognize that they're incredibly loyal to this school and to its graduates because they know the rigor of the curriculum that you've been through, they know the faculty, and they know the place the school occupies in the profession, and they keep that community alive through their engagement with young alums and graduates, and I hope that over the next 5 or 10 years you'll play the same role for those who come after you. And so in that vein, I'd like now to introduce an important leader at this school who you may not have met, and that's Fiona Kirk, who is the leader of our alumni board. Fiona.
Thank you. As chair of the alumni board, I get to meet and talk with alumni from a wide range of graduating classes. And I particularly enjoy speaking with those who attended the J School several decades ago, before the digital age dramatically changed the way we gather and disseminate stories. So for this speech, I reached out to 3 graduates: Ralph Blumenthal, class of '64, a Guggenheim Fellowship recipient and former New York Times reporter; Myron Belkine, class of '62, past president of the National Press Club and a retired AP bureau chief; and Margie Lehrman, class of 1970, who was an Emmy Award-winning network news producer at NBC. I asked them, what was it like when you attended the journalism school? Here's what they told me. On the first day of school, each of us had to go to an assigned location, get a story, come back and write it, and turn it in on deadline. Unfortunately, one of our classmates who'd never been in New York City before was assigned to go to Coney Island. At the end of the day, she went straight back to her apartment, packed up her things, and left town. We wrote on typewriters and neatness counted. A mistake or 2 on the page, and you crumpled it up and started all over. You had to know what you wanted to say before you typed it. No noodling around to get an idea, like today. There was a dress code. Men wore jackets and ties, but you could smoke a pipe in the World Room. Hard to imagine today. Not that kind of pipe. We had to carry enough dimes with us when we went on assignment so we could make calls from payphones back to our news desks. And finally, one day, we were told the class assignment was to find a certain celebrity's phone number. Students called all kinds of contacts, only to be informed at the end of the day that the number was listed in the phone book. The lesson, try the obvious source first. But we all had and still have the benefit of a great faculty, as well as using New York City as our real-life laboratory for covering the news. Another common thread that's woven through the J School's history, from the past to the present, is the emphasis on sound, factual reporting and writing. Journalism is still a work of the human hand and mind. I love that. So as the class of 2015, you are now part of a vast and welcoming community. There are over 10,000 journalism school alumni living today, which means that in every corner of the world, every organization, there's a network to tap into. Feel free to reach out, ask for a cup of coffee or a quick phone call, and you'll be surprised how quickly J School alums are to respond. Also, take advantage of everything the journalism school offers graduates, including continuing education workshops, professional fellowships, and training programs. Come back for Alumni Weekend and be as impressed as I was with the skills and talents of current and former students. Or volunteer to be on one of the Alumni Board's committees and stay a part of the conversation. All I ask is that in 10 years' time, When you're approached by a recent grad, remember what it felt like just starting out in this ever-changing world of media, and offer up your thoughts, opinions, and support. Finally, please give back to the J School by contributing to the annual fund, which provides scholarships to incoming students. The J School has a long tradition of alums helping out current students, and I hope you'll join me in donating what you can. This fall, when you receive that reminder email from the development office asking for your support, keep in mind that even a small amount makes a huge difference when it comes to financial aid. You should be very proud of everything you've accomplished this past year, and I want to be the first to welcome you into the alumni fold. So even though you can no longer smoke a pipe in the World Room, the smart advice of the J School's faculty, like trying the most obvious source first, remains true to this day. Thank you and congratulations to the class of 2015.
Thank you, Fiona, and I'd now like to call to the podium SPJ advisor Rebecca Castillo, who will introduce our student speaker.
The Society of Professional Journalists is an international organization of reporters for broadcast, print, digital media, and photojournalists who support each other and provide examples of the best practices of journalism. They remind us to uphold the highest standards of ethics, integrity, and getting the story right, as well as protecting the First Amendment and its guarantees of freedom of speech, press, through its advocacy efforts. At the Columbia J School, we have a student chapter of the Society of Professional Journalists, SPJ, which also serves as a de facto student government. All of the officers are elected in the fall term, and I would like to ask all the members of SPJ right now to stand and be acknowledged for their hard work of the year. This year, Justin Morton was elected president. In one of my first conversations with Justin, I asked him why he wanted to be president, and he said, "The J School is an extension of my family, and I want to help this group as we embark on the greatest adventure of our life." Please welcome Justin Morton.
Good afternoon, everybody. Before I start, fellow classmates, I have some bad news. Despite what you might have heard, there will be no free food offered after this event. None. Now, please don't blame me. I'm just the messenger. Sorry, Rich. Sorry, George. First, I would like to thank Rebecca Castillo, our wonderful SPJ advisor, for her invaluable insight and unwavering support for SPJ. Thank you to the SPJ board for your service and your support this year. I also would like to take this time to thank the presidents of the other student associations that also dedicated their time to serving the student body. Will you please stand? To the esteemed faculty at this fine institution, thank you. Particularly to my reporting professor, Karen Stabiner, who sent me on my first reporting assignment, and she spoiled the class with her delicious home-baked cookies. And to my master's project advisor, Mike Hoyt, who brought out the best in me. Who brought out the best in me as a writer and kept me encouraged during the challenging times. I say thank you. To my parents, thank you for encouraging me to dream big and to pursue my aspirations. Last but not least, I express my gratitude to my beautiful wife for her love, her support, and sacrifice during my school year. Now, to the graduates. Congratulations, class of 2015. Take a look at yourselves. The bags under your eyes, the Brad stains on your shirts, the awkward memories of stumbling into a class looking for a free computer. These are your battle scars. Display them with pride. You have finally come to the end of this chapter and are looking to the next one. As you embark on this new journey as journalists, you have a great responsibility to decipher the complexity and beauty of the human condition. As the digital age reshapes how we receive and transmit news, we must stay true to our core values as journalists. Some of you here today will become future recipients of honors like the Pulitzer Prize, the Diploma Award, and the Emmy Award. As we disperse into the world, let us not forget that we share a common bond. Continue to nurture the relationships that you have established with your professors and classmates at the Columbia Journalism School. We've been through so much together, like audience and engagement. Let's make sure the friendships we've made endure. An earnest thought, let us also not forget our civic duty as journalists to give voice to the marginalized, the voiceless. Let us not forget the journalists we have lost over the past year. Journalists like James Foley and Stephen Sotloff, whose heinous deaths were the result of their shedding light on darkness. Let us not forget those journalists who have been unjustly detained overseas for trying to tell stories that need to be told. Understand that your stories do matter. Journalism is not just the dissemination of news. It is the search for truth in a world where ideas and people collide. In the words of Maya Angelou, there is no greater agony than burying an untold story inside you. Thank you.
About audience and engagement. Message received. Thank you for your leadership. We're on it. We're on it. It was only 6 weeks, whatever it was, right? Seven. Okay. Now to our honoree and our main speaker. We're really very fortunate and so grateful to Nina that she made the trip up here and really looking forward to her remarks. She's the recipient this year of the Columbia Journalism Award, which is the school's highest honor, the only honor that we give out as a school, and it's voted on every year by the faculty for singular performance, journalistic performance in the public interest. And it's presented annually at this event, and past winners have included David Halberstam, Ben Bradley, Joan Didion, Walter Cronkite, and Kate Boo. And last year's winner, Alan Rusbridger, who was the editor of The Guardian when they published the Snowden material. So this year, the award is being presented to Nina Totenberg of National Public Radio. She's an award-winning legal affairs correspondent whose reports air all the time on NPR's main flagship programs, All Things Considered, Morning Edition, Weekend Edition. And her coverage of the Supreme Court and legal affairs have given her a widespread reputation in our business and across the country and in the judiciary as well. In 1991, her groundbreaking report about University of Oklahoma law professor Anita Hill's allegations on sexual harassment by Judge Clarence Thomas led the Senate Judiciary Committee to reopen Thomas's Supreme Court confirmation hearings. And she's had many other really enterprising stories over the years. She's been recognized not just within journalism, but in the field of law. She was presented the first ever award from the American Judicature Society, if I've said that right, honoring a career body of work in the field of journalism and law, and she's been honored 7 times by the American Bar Association for her excellence in reporting. She won an Alfred DuPont Award administered here at the school. She was named National Broadcaster of the Year by the National Press Foundation, and was the first radio journalist ever to receive such an award. So it's really with gratitude and pleasure that I introduce Nina Totenberg.
If you saw me being wheeled across the campus just as you were getting out of the large graduation, you'll know how much I wanted to be here, because 2 weeks ago on Sunday, I had what is euphemistically called a hip revision, meaning they screwed it up the first time and they have to do it again. So, and I called the dean and I said, I plan to be there, but you need a backup plan. So I'm really glad there didn't have to be a backup plan, because I'm so very honored to receive this award and to be here in front of all these wonderful future Pulitzer Prize winners. Graduates, parents, friends, children, spouses, Dean Call. I am, maybe are you all of those things? I am. This is your day. I'm, of course, incredibly flattered to get the Lifetime Achievement Award. But if you think that means that I'm retiring and that there's a job opening at NPR, forget it. My father, who was a great concert violinist, died at the age of 101. He was still practicing 2 weeks before he died, and on his deathbed, he was still teaching. So I'm not leaving anytime soon, because I'm nowhere near 101. Since this is your day, I have composed a couple of poems about your future lives. And I have to give credit to the man I first heard do this, the late NYU Law School Dean Norman Redlich. The words here are different, for the most part, but the theme is the same. And the first ditty is for the women of the class. I gotta say, you're a cheap audience. Anything gets her. I want the whole life experience in a ball. I want it all. I want adventure, love, career, kids, short or tall. I want it all. Don't tell me I can't have my druther. I'll be a superstar who's also a mother. I want to feel for once a little greed, be an anchor and own a steed, or at least dump my Subaru and get a car that's new. I want to be Michelle Obama and Michelle Pfeiffer, or maybe Margaret Sanger and Margaret Thatcher. I want to be Carol Leonig and Dana Priest, break a story that's a Pulitzer feast. Or maybe I'll be the queen of digital like Emily Bell, always ahead of the curve, so swell. I'll roam the world like Cooper and Stilla, staying out of the clutches of those guys like Attila. I'll be undeterred like Ruth Bader Ginsburg, lead the charge like Sandra Day, or make people laugh like Tina Fey. I want to be Loretta Lynch and Loretta Lynn, lock 'em up and sing a hymn. Of course, I could veer off track, be Hillary Clinton, Hillary Duff, or Hillary Swank, or maybe instead the head of the World Bank. I want to be a hot date, eat chocolate without gaining weight, have a she pad and be Secretary of State. I want a 28-hour day, 6 figures of pay. I want forgiveness on loans and acute erogenous zones. I want to run the marathon and do it with flair, be a Columbia chair who's beyond compare. I want to bleach my hair, invite guys to my lair, find a great au pair, spend tons on what I wear. I want to clean up the sludge and maybe even be a judge. I want it all. And now for the guys. I want to be Michael Bloomberg, Dick Wald, or Bill Gates. A little grandiose, I admit, but I want to hit past first base. I want forgiveness on debts and to manage the Mets. I want to be Scott Turow, combine art, fame, and dough. I want to be Michael Douglas, Michael Jordan, Michael Eisner, husband of the year, player of the year, media mogul of the year, whatever the sphere. Den of Thieves, Black Migration, those books are taken. I'll find another subject to awaken. Of course, I too could veer off track, be Henry Kay or I.M. Pei, Count Basie or Kevin Spacey. Yes, I want to be a leader. I want to be Thurgood Marshall, George Marshall, and Marshall McLuhan. I want to run the Fed and play heir to the Grateful Dead. I want to be, yes indeed, I want to be Tom Brady, Tom Wolfe, Tom Cruise, and on the side, I'll do headline news. I want to be Clarence Darrow, Clarence Thomas, Rand Paul, or Ralph Nader, on whatever side, a fearless crusader. I want to save lives and win the Pulitzer Prize, donate large fees, earn honorary degrees. I want to be Nino Scalia and Samuel Alito, buzzing those liberals like a big fat mosquito. I want to fight the crooks, write like David Brooks, negotiate deals and eat 5-star meals, be a loving dad, a supportive mate, have a she pad, and be Secretary of State. I want a great chip shot, drop shot, jump shot. I want it all. Okay, so that's the entertainment part. I was quite lucky when I entered journalism. There were lots of jobs. I was unlucky in a different way. Editors, producers, bosses of all different stripes, they didn't hire women, and they were unembarrassed to say so. I remember upon graduating from college, or at least leaving college, because I didn't graduate from college, I remember upon leaving college that I called the Quincy Patriot Ledger near my home in Massachusetts, and being told just outright that the only job they had open was on the night desk and they didn't hire women for that job. By 1980 or so, you would have thought that wasn't true anymore. And at about that time, I considered leaving NPR, and I had lunch with the Washington bureau chief of one of the major newspaper chains, a genuinely wonderful guy I'd known for quite some time. And when I told him that I was thinking of a job change, his response was, "But Nina, we already have our woman." Thankfully, those days are long gone, and women are not just reporters, but run major news organizations and are the top dogs at many of those places. I think it's important, however, to remind audiences that those days are not that long ago. I am standing before you today quite cowed by having to deliver this speech. On paper, at least, you all are much smarter than I am. I had lousy SAT scores and probably would not have done any better on the GREs. More to the point, when it comes to social media, I'm running like a lunatic just to even remotely stay in place while you all are in place. But I do have years and years of experience, so I thought I would tell you a few war stories, all in aid of saying something really quite boring and old-fashioned and harpy-like. Standards! We must have standards! Columbia did a simply wonderful job. Columbia and the dean did a simply wonderful job on the Rolling Stone investigation. It clearly was a huge, huge amount of work. But I do have to tell you that when I read the story originally, I thought to myself, what? You can't do a story like this with an anonymous accuser, no corroboration, and oh yes, not checking with the accused. Where, I wondered, were the editors? And God help me, I never thought I'd say this, where were the lawyers? When you're a young reporter, there are just dozens of opportunities to make mistakes, crushing mistakes, even career-ending mistakes. And the person who stands between you and total destruction is your editor. I have often thought to myself how lucky I was that I was in my 40s when I broke the Anita Hill story. When I first contacted her, she wanted to be anonymous. It was a totally understandable desire and one that the Senate honored when she first contacted the Judiciary Committee. But it just doesn't work in journalism. And by the way, I don't think it worked for the Senate Judiciary Committee either, because they didn't do anything about it and ended up looking ridiculous. I suppose her desire to be anonymous might have been tempting for some journalists, but that's why we have standards. So there isn't that temptation. The faceless informers of the Red Scare did enormous damage in the 1950s. That ought to be a lesson forever to journalists and politicians too. Well, I can't do anything about the Pols, but by having standards and rules, even rules that we sometimes rail against, we really do protect ourselves, our profession, the people we cover, and the people we inform. None of us is a saint always, or has the best judgment always. I remember one time during the Clinton-Lewinsky debacle, when I was running the roundup lead at the top of All Things Considered for the day, and the Wall Street Journal moved a story online saying that a Secret Service agent had actually been a witness to the liaison. So I quoted the Wall Street Journal story. My boss back then, editor Bruce Drake, asked me who my source was, and I pointed to my copy attributing the story to the Wall Street Journal. And I said, we would look pretty stupid if everybody else is quoting the journal and we don't put it in our roundup. This isn't even close, he said. He made me take it out because I didn't have independent confirmation. And I grumped around the office for a while, muttering that he was a purist. Lucky for me, he was. The story wasn't true, and the journal ate it that night. Let me note parenthetically that I don't think that story would have ever made it into the Wall Street Journal newspaper. As one of my newspaper colleagues said to me just a few weeks ago, when he writes a web piece, it gets a look from maybe one set of eyes other than his own. But if it's on the front page of the paper, it likely will get a look at 10 other sets of eyes. And I think that's dangerously true for all of us. We have so many platforms we report for that it's the one that's the centerpiece of the institution, in NPR's case, the radio, that gets the most eyes, or sometimes in our case, ears. One final note on all of this, I know the fashion is to think that social networking has produced so much more information, and it has. It started the Arab Spring, it's toppled governments, and in this country it's shown that we certainly do have a problem with police practices. But having said that, raw data and tips are not the same as news. I can't tell you how many times I've had a good story ruined by the facts. Facts are hugely important. Remember the Shirley Sherrod story? She was the Agriculture Department official fired by the Obama administration early on, based on an edited video that made her look as though she was saying something racist about a white person, which she was not. That was an Andrew Breitbart special. It takes time to make sure that a good story is a good story. Harkening back to the Anita Hill story, once she finally agreed to an interview, I did ask her for the names of people she'd told about her charges against Clarence Thomas back when the events occurred, and I called and grilled them all. It made me able to sleep at night, and it gave me a fair amount of confidence in my story. There's one thing that I did do back then that I would never do today. I held the story for a full day, trying to get a comment out of the Judiciary Committee Chairman, Joseph Biden, about why the committee had not done anything about Hill's charges. I never did get a response. Holding the story cost me a total exclusive. Today, I would know that what I didn't know then, at the dawn of the web world, that my story would start to bleed out before it had actually aired. As nasty as the ensuing fight was to get me to reveal my sources, and frankly to discredit me, it pales in comparison to the fights that reporters endure today and always have endured over stories involving national security. People like Dana Priest, Peter Baker, David Sanger, Walter Pincus, and Jim Risen. They're among the most hardworking and meticulous reporters around. But they are not crusaders, and we should remember that. And I have to tell you that for me, at least, when a reporter or editor becomes a crusader, and it's probably impolitic for me to mention Glenn Greenwald, but he's the person who comes to mind. I think it does a disservice to journalism because people start to view us all that way, and then quite simply they stop paying attention. They don't trust us. We live in a world where trust is already on the wane. I'm sure you're all familiar with the 2014 Pew Center study, but to read its details is to be alarmed not just for journalism, but for the country. It was a year-long study that found that increasingly people are more likely to interact with those who agree with them. And there are striking differences between consistent liberals and consistent conservatives. The conservatives are tightly clustered in their news consumption around one main source, Fox News, which accounts for 47% of the consistent conservative watchers or consumers. The consistent liberals are not clustered like that. The largest group, 15%, cites CNN as their main source, 13% NPR, 10% the New York Times. Consistent conservatives trust few of the 36 major news sources listed in the study. Consistent liberals trust most of the sources. But the liberals are more likely to defriend someone on a social networking site because of politics. The consistent liberals and conservatives share one important trait. They are very interested in politics and public policy and are more likely to drive political discussions. In other words, they are leaders. In fact, you might even say they're talkers and not listeners. The result, I would suggest, is the kind of gridlock we see in Washington. And I do wish I could propose a solution, but I don't have one. Instead of having a country that listens to a few TV channels these days, we have a country that listens to hundreds. Long gone are the days of the fairness doctrine when every radio and TV station that wanted to keep its license had to provide a news broadcast representing a variety of views and had to provide a fair reply for anyone who was personally attacked. In an odd sense, we are back in the Wild West of the media. But now it's the web, Twitter, Tumblr, Snapchat, and who knows what else that are the new areas of exploration. And guess what? There's no Marshall in town. Finally, I want to talk about something a bit more personal. Not a bit, a lot more personal. When my late husband fell on the ice more than 20 years ago, nobody could have known on that morning that it would take 3 brain operations and 4 months in the hospital before he would come home, frail and learning to walk again. Nor could anyone have known that a year later he would return to the hospital and spend 7 months in intensive care, reeling from one crisis to another. At the time, I really wondered if I was capable of doing all the things for him that I needed to. I managed, in large part, because of my family, my colleagues, and friends. They wined me and dined me to keep my spirits up. They sat with me in hospital rooms. They went to doctors' meetings with me. They took notes at meetings with social workers and then read them back the riot act if promised services were not delivered. And I want to tell you, you do not want to have Cokie Roberts reading back to you from her notes. She takes very good notes. There is, of course, a lesson in all of this. Besides friendship and family, it's a lesson that involves another rather old-fashioned word, duty. When you come to a crisis in life, I think you will find that doing your duty will serve you rather well, whether it's your crisis or someone else's. The path is clear, the choices are few, and there are no regrets afterwards. Indeed, there are real rewards. You are, for want of a better expression, you're a better person, a deeper person, and able to accept life's blessings too. Not long after my husband Floyd died in 1998, I started dating my now husband David. His wife had also died after a long illness, and he volunteered to take me to New York today just to make sure nothing bad happened on the trip from DC to here. When we got married, our friends and families, I think, rejoiced at our wedding every bit as much as we did, in part because they had shared in our grief and loss. This provides a segue for me to turn back to the subject of your work life, the thing that, if you are lucky, will drive you and provide great satisfaction. My late husband, Floyd, was a lawyer who changed careers at least 3 times. He enjoyed them all. My husband, David, is a trauma surgeon, vice chairman of the Department of Surgery at a huge hospital, and a teacher of surgical residents and med students. One of the many things that I admire so much about him is that he's always willing to look at what he does with a fresh eye, to think about new training for himself, and to change the emphasis of what he's doing. And we both know that however much we love our jobs, and we do, and however hard we work, and we do, that life is ephemeral, and that in the end, there are times to say, no, I'm going home. So take those diplomas, do everything you possibly can with them, and go home knowing that there is so much more to come. Thank you so much, and congratulations to you all.
Okay, we're getting to showtime here. And what comes next for our guests, parents, relatives, friends, family, is to just acknowledge the recipients of the school's honors. We delivered those yesterday at our Journalism Day ceremony. This is, at Columbia, graduation is a festival, goes on for a couple of days. So we are near the end, but we wanted to make sure that those students who may have informed their parents that they won an honor are confirmed in front of the audience of having actually won the honor. So we're going to do a couple of things. First, I'm going to explain what these honors are for our friends and family. We have two big degree programs here, the Master of Arts and the Master of Sciences. For those of you who are here to honor and congratulate a graduate of the Master of Arts program, we have no honors for them. They're all honor students. So, just because their names are not called out, it has no implication for them at all. And this is for the main degree program, the Master of Science program, where we have 235-ish graduates this year. And through a system of awarding honors class by class and calculating the weight of those achievements for each student, the school identified 23 students, essentially the top 10% of the class, who have been awarded honors. And I just want to acknowledge them in front of everyone and ask them to stand up and ask you to please hold your applause until I complete the list of names. Anita Abedian, Rosalind Adams, Cassandra Basler, Gurman Bhatia, Kate Cox, Ariel Amara Dreyer, Jeremy Fuchs, Lydia Hu, Jessica Husman, Seila Husko, Joseph Khalil, Alexandra Sophie Levine, Shannon Mary Louis Brand, Jennifer Eugenia Luna, Kara McGugan, Chris Massa, Jack Murta, Daniela Porat, Leif Riekstad, Jasper Rishan Pierce, Mark Rivet Karnak, Gitika Rudra, Anjali Sastry, and Carl Stoffers. Congratulations to all of you. The school is very fortunate to have been around 100 years and to have been generously endowed by its founder, Joseph Pulitzer, and by many other philanthropists over the ensuing decades. And one of the legacies that many of those philanthropists have given the school are a series of endowed awards recognizing outstanding student work or student achievement of one sort. So each of these awards has its own category and requirements, and they all have been around for years. And they're voted by committee of faculty and other decision makers at the school. They're all taken very seriously. There's a big meeting of the faculty to ratify the award winners and so on. So without going into what each award encompasses, I want to acknowledge all the winners of this year's main awards by name, and same drill, ask you to stand up, we'll hold our applause. The Nona Balakian Award went to Pauline Bach. And now the MA is included. The MA Thesis Awards, 3 runners-up, first to Ankur Paliwal, Vanessa Quirk, Ben Taub, and the best MA Thesis went to J.P. Lawrence. The Richard Blood Award went to Darcy Coulter. The Browntown Award for Excellence in Computational Journalism went to Ariana Georgi. The DuPont Judy F. Crichton Award for Outstanding Work in Documentary Film went to Jasper Rishan Pierce and Seila Husko, and with honorable mention to Sean Ryan and Leah Zora Claxton Scruggs. The Philip Greer Scholarship Fund Award an MS winner went to Jennifer Wang, and the MA winner was Jonathan Chu. The Robert Heron Award went to Katie Worth. The Fred Heckinger Journalism Education Award went to Jessica Husman. The Hogan Prizes for Excellence in Science Writing, 3rd place went to Jessica Swanson, 2nd place went to Daniela Porat, and 1st place went to Asaf Shalev. The award for Outstanding Editorial Writing went to Jeremy Fuchs. The Peter Keller Prize went to Alana Weissman. The Joan Connor Broadcast Journalism Award went to Joseph Khalil. The Linton Fellowships in Book Writing went to Joshua Hunt and Gitika Rudra. The Mel Mencher Award went to the aforementioned Asaf Shalev. The Lars Eric Nelson Prize went to Kara McGugan. The Henry N. Taylor Award went to Jasper Rishin Pierce. And the James A. Wexler Awards, the International Award went to J.P. Lawrence, and the local award went to Emily Eason Palmer. And finally, in this category, the Lewis Winnick Prize went to Rosalind Adams. Congratulations. Finally, to honor 5 extraordinary students with the Pulitzer Fellowships. These, in 4 cases, have been endowed to provide the top 4 students in the MS class with the opportunity to travel, report, and write around the world as they make a plan in the next year. And a 5th fellowship is awarded to an outstanding student with a particular interest in arts and arts criticism. That fellowship goes this year to Gabrielle Bruni. Congratulations to Gabrielle. And the 4 Pulitzer fellowships to the top 4 students in the MS class by the system of honors I mentioned before go to Rosalind Adams, Cassandra Basler, Jasper Rishin Pierce, and the top graduate of the class of 2015, the valedictorian, is Jessica Hoosman. And I just want to emphasize across the board, it was such a pleasure to work with this class. They put in a lot of hours to get here today, so one last round of acknowledgement and congratulations to them. And now it's time to award the diplomas, and Dean Ernest Sotomayor will come to the podium to start the reading of the names.
Hello, congratulations to you. Who wants to come up? Everyone at once, right? As I read the names, we ask that family and friends please remain in your seats and don't venture into the aisles. It's a fire issue, believe me. A professional photographer is going to be capturing all of the graduates as they cross the stage, and those will be available to you later, so thank you for that. We're going to begin with the graduates from October 2014, and presenting those, Lisa Cohen. Lisa here. Our first candidate from Hatem, Netherlands, Jasper Rishin Pierce. Terrence DeBeener. Terrence DeBeener will present one other award. From Las Vegas, Nevada, Jessica Iovasi. Next, we have graduates from February 2015. From Preston, United Kingdom, Olivia Krellin. Lisa Cohen. I think she's MIA. From Karachi, Pakistan, Samin Malik. Another MIA. Let's try a third one here. Sean Ryan. Finally, from Miami, Florida, Leah Zora Claxton Scruggs. From West Caldwell, New Jersey, Chris Massa. We'll begin with our candidates in Master of Arts in Journalism, beginning with Arts and Culture. Presenting them will be David Haju and Alyssa Solomon. From Brooklyn, New York, Gabrielle Bruni. From Utuado, Puerto Rico, Carmen Garcia Diaz. From Ajmer, India, Yashika Dutt. From Cairo, Egypt, Sarah El Kamel. From Nairobi, Kenya, Beatrice Gitau. From Brisbane, Australia, Miriam Hall. From Huntington Beach, California, Shelby Hartman. From Jerusalem, Israel, Adam James Levine Aretti. From Oak Park, California, Jacqueline Mansky. From Leonia, New Jersey, Amanda Michaelberg. From Cold Spring Harbor, Vanessa Quirk. From New York City, Isabel Schwab. And we will move on to our Master of Arts in Business. Presenting those will be Leslie Wayne. From San Fernando, Trinidad and Tobago, Carla Bridgelaw. From Walhalla, South Carolina, Jackie Faye Burton. From Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, Jonathan Chu. From Newburgh, New York, Jessica DiNapoli. From Wilton, Connecticut, Kate King. From Hong Kong, China, Amy Lam. From Seoul, South Korea, Jennifer Moon. From Rosas, Spain, Damian Sanchez Bonmati. Next up will be our Master of Arts students in politics. Presenting those will be Professors Nick Lemon and Alexander Stilla. From Eldoret, Kenya, Joanne Barsolet. From Berlin, Germany, Janice Delker. From Macon, Georgia, Marcus Edward Howard. From Redwood Falls, Minnesota, J.P. Lawrence. From Helsinki, Finland, Heidi Lipsinen. From Calcutta, India, Tusha Mittal. From Buenos Aires, Argentina, Leandro Oliva. From Milan, Italy, Giulia Padavicini. From Buffalo, New York, Michael Regan. From Sydney, Australia, J.J. Robinson. From Copenhagen, Denmark, Jorgen Samso. From Manila, Philippines, Kimberly Jane Torres Tan. From Princeton, New Jersey, Ben Taub. And from Chico, California, Katie Worth. We'll follow with our Master of Arts students in Science, Health, and Environment. Marguerite Holloway will present those. From Calcutta, India, Isha Day. From Mexico City, Mexico, Miguel Fernandez Flores. From Buffalo, New York, Dino Grandoni. From Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, Roberto Caz. From Oakland, California, Kamala Coker. From Washington, Elise O'Neill. From Aligarh, India, Ankar Paliwal. From Acton, Massachusetts, Rob Verger. And from Delhi, India, Malavika Vyawahari. Our Knight Badgett Fellows in Business and Financial Journalism will come up next. They'll be presented by Program Director Terry Thompson. First, from St. Louis, Missouri, Nathan Becker. From Brooklyn, New York, Dan Bobkoff. From Rutherford, New Jersey, Annalyn Kurtz. Annalyn Kurtz. From Los Angeles, California, Alfred Lee. From Seoul, South Korea, Haiwan Angela Moon. From New York City, Hala Turyale. And from New York City, Aaron Zlomek. Next up will be our Spencer Fellows in Education Journalism, and presenting them will be Program Director Linnell Hancock. First, from New York, S. Mitra Kalita. She's a grad from the MS program and a former intern. From Chicago, Illinois, Linda Lutton. And from Great Neck, New York, Joy Resmovitz. Now we have 15 Master of Science students who will be remaining with us for another semester as they work on their documentary program. They will be graduating in October. I will call your names and please stand. Ayashatsi Kadandra, Olivia Lace Evans, Amina Mujtaba, Rasa Nakvi, Oni Nowucha, Sarah Obidet, Nadeem Roberts, George Steptoe, and Kalisha Whitman. Now you can applaud. You didn't follow direction, but make your deadline anyway. We'll now have our graduates in the Master of Science in Computer Science and Journalism program. Professors David Cleatell and Du Lin Tu will present those. From Collegeville, Pennsylvania, Ariana Georgie. From Nanjing, China, Yeling Han. From Staten Island, New York, Alfred Miller. From Rochelle Park, New Jersey, Nilkant Patel. Nilkant is absent here. Westford, Massachusetts, Daniel Vigetto. I'll invite Professor Cohen back up. We'll begin with our graduates in Master of Science. By their reporting course, their reporting professor in that class will be presenting with them with their diplomas. First, from Atlanta, Georgia, Alex Clark. I'd like to invite Professor Ann Cooper up to present her class. First, from Amman, Jordan, Nada Badawi. From Huntington Beach, California, Jenna-Lee Belhumer. From New York City, Tyler Ross Daniels. From Los Angeles, California, Azure Gilman. From New York City, Jane Greaves. From Vancouver, Washington, Hillary Hansen. From Shanghai, China, Wenjing Hua. From Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Jerry Iannelli. From London, Dasha Lisitsina. From Los Angeles, California, Madison Margolin. From Paris, France, Lou Aurelier. From Houston, Texas, Nathan McDermott. From Saint-Germain-en-Laye, France, Grégoire Mollet. From Sherman, Texas, Natalie Shakar. From Miami, Florida, Lisa Spear. And from Englewood, New Jersey, Amal Zakaria Musa. Sheila? Dean Cornell will be presenting the class for Jessica Bruder, who could not be with us today. From Caracas, Venezuela, Ariane Alcorta. From New Delhi, India, Sahiba Chaudhary. From Chappaqua, New York, Jeremy Fuchs. From Curitiba, Brazil, Stella Curie. From Oslo, Norway, Hannah Klingberg. From Denver, Colorado, Samantha Mesa Miles. From Rochester Hills, Michigan, Kay Win. From Beijing, China, Siyu Qian. From Montreal, Canada, Brittany Robbins. From Amman, Jordan, Bushra Shakshir. So, California, Camille Von Cannell. Dean Cornell will represent Professor Andy Rimmer. From New York City, Jessica Thea Mullen. I invite Professor Anthony Diploma to present his class. From Bronxville, New York, Roxanne Adamiat. From Benin City, Nigeria, Kingsley Amayo. From San Diego, California, Aliyah Bora. From Lima, Peru, Rashmi Chugani. From Mogi das Cruzes, Brazil, Michelle Inaba. From Vancouver, Canada, Grace Lee. From Sydney, Australia, Sophia Morris. From Harare, Zimbabwe, Tariro C. Zebuzedua. From Paris, France, Emily C. Professor Sam Friedman will present his class now. From Cliffside Park, New Jersey, A.J. Betts. From New York City, Meredith Gansman. From Washington Township, New Jersey, Kristen Golay. From Brooklyn, New York, Janine Grimaldi. From Teaneck, New Jersey, Lauren Kate Hard. From Bogota, Colombia, Paula Heinke. From Brooklyn, New York, Yvonne Marie Juris. From Brooklyn, New York, Christopher Matthias. From New York City, Debbie Dampia Parampio. From Scarsdale, New York, Julie Lisa Schwartz. From Brooklyn, New York, Jamil Sutton, who's MIA. From Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Renee Wunderlich. Professors Howard French and Mike Hoyt will present their class. From Chicago, Illinois, Sophia Sami Ali. From Vancouver, Canada, Saif Hussein Al-Nuari. From Denver, Colorado, Marisa Elena Armas. From Lyon, France, Elena Buffetta. From Geneva, Switzerland, Simon Bouvier. From Rocky Mount, North Carolina, Maya Collins. And from Whiteville, North Carolina, Valerie Marie Edwards. From Toronto, Canada, Ella Fetter. From Perm, Russia, Tatiana Ilyenko. From Islamabad, Pakistan, Myra Iqbal. From Dhaka, Bangladesh, Zaima Islam. From Tacoma, Washington, Gregory Jackson. From New York City, Paula Aniela Lem. From Shanghai, China, Isabel New. From Sao Paulo, Brazil, Andre Tassinari. And from Palo Alto, California, Kevin Townsend. Professors Ari Goldman and Tammy Luby will present their class next. First from New Delhi, India, Gurman Bhatia. Mumbai, India, Valerie Gupti. From Zurich, Switzerland, Noel Ilian. From Rockville, Maryland, Ann Most. From Canberra, Australia, Syra Mueller. From Brick, New Jersey, Jack Murtha. From Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Marinella Orlando. From Brooklyn, New York, Ayana Austin. From Wayne, New Jersey, Una Park. And from London, England, Antoinetta Rousey. Professor Linnell Hancock. Professor Linnell Hancock will present our class next.
And me.
and along with Alyssa Solomon, who co-taught the class. From Ottawa, Canada, Zainab Abdesadak. From New York City, Rosalind Adams. From Union, New Jersey, Stephanie Beach. From Vienna, Austria, Benjamin Bergman. From Safety Harbor, Florida, Lauren Jane Foster. From Carmel, California, Daniel Isaac Funt. From Los Angeles, California, Elizabeth Goldbaum. From Paris, France, Alice Guillemon. From Punjab, India, Swati Gupta. From Denver, Colorado, Jamari Alyssa Haisa. From Reno, Nevada, Jenny Luna. From Singapore, Sahili Roy Chaudhuri. From Akron, Ohio, Robert L. Smith. And from Nanjing, China, Han Zhan. I now invite Professor Lonnie Isabel to present his class. From Flemington, New Jersey, Bridget Alexis Burlow. From Surat, India, Ruij Mayank Ferrari. From Pune, India, Deborah D'Souza. From New York City, Devan Tafari Henry. From San Diego, California, Bianca Hawk. From Detroit, Michigan, Joseph Khalil. From Flushing, New York, Rebecca. From Manchester, United Kingdom, Chloe Mamalak. From Silver Spring, Maryland, Nardos Gamrebian Mesmer. From Paris, France, Clemence Michelin. From Singapore, Camelia Raji. From Lauenburg, New Jersey, Elizabeth Morgan. From Shanghai, China, Yichin Shen. From Miami, Florida, Jessica Swanson. And from Srinagar, Kashmir, Mir Ubad. Professor Maharaj, Dale Maharaj will present his class next. From Vienna, Austria, Alina Abulanen. From Wilton, Connecticut, Melissa Isabel Ferris. From Paris, France, Antoine Goldet. From Taipei, Taiwan, Xiaoluan Huang. From Florence, South Carolina, Liza Lucas. From Essex, England, Liz Lucking. From Greenwich, Connecticut, Jordan Muto. From Houston, Texas, David Oak. From New York City, Stephanie Ortigosa. From Portland, Oregon, Eben Pindyke. From Roslyn, New York, Gitika Rudra. From Jaipur, India, Shivam Saini. From London, England, Victoria Umedimo. From Silver Spring, Maryland, Solange Owimana. From Springfield, Virginia, Carrie Mae Waltemeyer. From Changchun, China, Linda Zhang.
Julie said to bring the microphone.
Professor Ruth Patterer will present her class.
To speak closer to the mic, the students can't hear you.
From New York City, Yasmin Kangavalis. She's from Paris. So New York City. She's a graduate, we'll grant her that. From Los Angeles, California, Charlotte Sue Gibson. From Patna, India, Lata Jha. From Toronto, Canada, Spencer McNaughton. From Vienna, West Virginia, Meredith McGraw. From Boston, Massachusetts, Catherine Mulally. From Rawalpindi, Pakistan, Ali Moen Nawazish. From London, England, Tess Owen. From Bogota, Colombia, Mariana Palau. From Buffalo, New York, Leif Regstad. From Alameda, California, Anjali Sastry. From Newtown, Pennsylvania, Emily Fairbanks Silber. From Fort Lauderdale, Florida, Michaela Villo. From Melrose, Massachusetts, Kelsey Warner. And from Zhengzhou, China, Shengying Zhao. Professor Padway. Professor Sandy Padway. From the retiring Sandy Padway. From San Juan, Puerto Rico, Isabel Albino. From Oakville, Ontario, Canada, Ellen Brait. From Toronto, Canada, Darwin Chan. From Glasgow, Scotland, Caitlin Warwick Clements. From Montreal, Canada, Sulaf El Salfati. From Oak Park, Michigan, Hava Gowari. From Edmonton, Canada, Michelle Mark. From San Francisco, California, Natasha Paez. From Dallas, Texas, Jacqueline Pizer. From Singapore, Mark Rivette Karnak. From Bangalore, India, Seema Samshikar. From Junglinster, Luxembourg, Barbara Tash. From Sacramento, California, Rachel Uda. From Vancouver, Canada, Jennifer Wong. And from Liberty Hill, Texas, Jackie Waddles. Professors Amy Singer and Barbara Kantrowitz. From Yerevan, Armenia, Diana Asatrian. From Lake Forest, California, Melina Carollo. From Huntington Beach, California, Nicholas Simarusti. From Hudson, Wisconsin, Darcy Coulter. From Lexington, Kentucky, Shannon Eblin. From Pretoria, South Africa, Bernd Fischer. Good, good. From Seoul, South Korea, Kathy Wang. From New Delhi, India, Aminat Color. From Queens, New York, Camelia Kilawan. From Cleveland, Ohio, Alex Lubetkin. From London, Kara McGugan. From Woodbury, Minnesota, Amanda Obwehi. From London, England, Helena Pike. From Paris, France, Adèle Pojman-Ponte. And from Beijing, China, Zihao Zhan. Professor Paula Span. Settle down, settle down. From San Jose, California, Anita Abedian. From Beisour, Lebanon, Sarah Labib Aridi. From Los Angeles, California, Ruby Badagan. From Brighton, England, Michael Brown. From Wayne, New Jersey, Ashta Chaturvedi. From Prather, California, Jack Crosby. From New York City, Taryn Finley.
I'm from Dayton, Ohio. Dayton, Ohio.
She's from Dayton, Ohio. From Brooklyn, New York, Andrew Randolph Johnson. From Portland, Oregon, Britta Lochting. From Windsor, Canada, Saris Sunilou. From Houston, Texas, Miriam Sitz. From Biskupik, Poland, Joanna Socha. From Baalbek, the Lebanese Republic, Mohammed Abbas Yagi.
Yasmin.
apologies, from Los Angeles, California, Yasmin Nua. Special presentation. Professor Karen Stabiner. From Rockville, Maryland, Chancellor Agard Wilson. From New York City, Amelia Bordeaux. From New York City, Kate Cox and her father, Jack A. Cox, from the journalism class of 1967. From the Bronx, New York, Lana Dawson. From Buffalo, New York, Jay and Donnie Fernando. From West Covina, California, Charisse Frazier. From Chicago, Illinois, Christian Golian. From Logan, Utah, Therese Anderson Grincheri. From Boston, Massachusetts, Celine Jacobian. From Cresskill, New Jersey, Alexandra Sophie Levine. From Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Arthi Manohar. And from Panama City, the Republic of Panama, Ana Graciela Mendez. From New York City, your class president, Justin Morton. From North Babylon, New York, Charmaine Nero. From Woodbridge, Virginia, Eunice Molay. From Seoul, South Korea, Cho Park. From Boca Raton, Florida, Danielle Pascarella. From Camp Hill, Pennsylvania, Rachel Rodenbush. From Oradell, New Jersey, Kirsten Schmidt. From Lynchburg, Virginia, Michael Chadwick Shank. From New Hope, Pennsylvania, Mallory Mackenzie Shelbourne. From Penang, Malaysia, Emmeline Tay. From Philadelphia and Israel, Tal Trackman Elroy. From New York City, Alana Wiseman. And from Penfield, New York, Samantha Ye. Professors Dodi Siantar and Michael Hoyt. From Los Angeles, California, Teresa Avila. From Detroit, Michigan, Cassandra Basler. From Saint Avold, France, Pauline Bach. London, England, Max Berman. From Greenwich, Connecticut, Christine Chung. From New York City, Thomas J. Davis. From Brooklyn, New York, Sade Falabita. From Worcester, Massachusetts, Latina Hazard. From Detroit, Michigan, Chernobyl Jello. From Beijing, China, Hezi Xiang. From Clifton Park, New York, Shannon Louisbrand. From New York City, Rashmi Kaur O'Brien. From Toronto, Canada, Daniela Porat. And from Atlanta, Georgia, Ariana Skybell. Professor Nick Lemon and Laura Muha will present our final class. From Islamabad, Pakistan, Fatima Bojani. From Richland, North Carolina, Thomas James Brennan and his faithful companion Luke and daughter. He bites, he doesn't get his degree. From Rancho Cucamonga, California, Justin May Librea Kalma. Justine. From Tehran, Iran, Denise Ajiri. From Baltimore, Maryland, Lydia Hugh. From Petersburg, Alaska, Joshua Hunt. Ladies and gentlemen, from Dallas, Texas, your class valedictorian, Jessica Huzman. From Newton, Massachusetts, Zoe Kirsch. From Chicago, Illinois, Alexandra Kukulka. From Durham, North Carolina, Emily Eason Palmer. From Lancaster, Pennsylvania, Timothy R. Patterson. From Los Angeles, California, Asaf Shalev. And all the way from Canberra, Australia, Jacqueline Williams. Students, faculty, friends, and family, the class of 2015, congratulations.
This concludes the commencement exercises, but not the party. There's a reception on the lawn outside between this building and the journalism school. We'll see you there.